Welcome back. Last week was certainly not boring around Gonzaga basketball. In most likely the most busy offseason week the program has had in its history, the squad got commitments to return from starters Rasir Bolton, Julian Strother, and Drew Timme, and then turned around and got a commitment from one of the top transfers in the portal in Malachi Smith. I sat down with CBS Sports Gary Parrish today to get his thoughts on where this team is now perched going into the 2022-2023 college basketball season.
General thoughts on the last week for Gonzaga?
It was obviously a great week.
A great week that included basically every college basketball journalist in the country moving Gonzaga up into their preseason #1 ranking. Parrish was actually one of the last holdouts as he had Gonzaga #4 after the 48-hour rush of returnees within Gonzaga's program. Then Malachi Smith committed.
Listen, you've got it right. I without Malachi Smith, I had him 4th. With him, I had him 1. But the truth is, there was not much difference in my mind between the teams. You know, I had ahead of Gonzaga at that point, even before Malachi. So we're talking about North Carolina and Houston and Kentucky.
So what convinced Parrish to put Gonzaga over the rest?
I think they've got more really good college players than anybody else. Maybe not more NBA prospects than anybody else. Maybe not, 2 of the top 10 players in the country. But I think they've got the more very good college basketball players than anybody else. And there's just a track record of excellence with that program that, assuming they're going to be anything other than awesome again, is you're really not paying attention to history or the roster that's in place.
Ah, yes. If anyone is familiar with the refrain from the Twitterverse that Gonzaga is overrated, it's Gary. He's hardly concerned about that.
I had Gonzaga #1 in the country last preseason, and people will say, well, how did that work out for you? And I would argue pretty well. They were the #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. For about 4 months, they looked like the best team in the country. And then in a single elimination tournament of 40-minute games, where foul trouble, three-point shooting, injuries, any number of things can determine the outcome, they got caught by another good team.
As for the way this year's good team will play, especially with a roster that almost feels log-jammed with talent, well, Gary doesn't have any predictions quite yet in terms of how it will all work out, but he's pretty sure Mark Few doesn't either.
One of the things Mark Few has told me in the past, when I would ask him, so how do you envision using this guy or with this lineup? And he said, there are some coaches, and I appreciated the humility here. He said, there are some coaches who on paper, they can figure it out, just look at it and go, well, here's what we're going to do. This, and this. He said, I'm somebody who kind of needs to see it. And then I'll know what we need to do.
Gonzaga fans are hoping that Few sees and delivers a national championship team. Gary says it's only a matter of time.
If you keep getting darts to throw at a dartboard, if you get 5, you're gonna get that bullseye eventually. If we're equating a dart to a realistic chance to win the national title, he's got a dart in his hand every year. Not every coach does. He does.
Gonzaga, I believe the players are returning next Monday, and all I know is that those summer practices are going to be some brawls. We're going to get stories from those practices for years to come, I have a feeling, because there's just so much talent on this team.